welcome back to EduCore. I'm here with a new video about our course cross-cultural communication, and today's our topic is process of translation. Earlier we have studied about translation, what is translation, and today I'm going to quickly describe process of translation in this video. So let's move to the topic. Process of translation is often called as a five-step translation process, and as it comprises of five steps, which are very prominent and are often used in professional translation, and professionals use this method. And these translation processes are comprises of five steps. Number one is overview. And while they are doing translation, they overview about the translation that is to be done, and then second one is initial translation, and third one is accuracy check, fourth one is clear the mind, and fifth is final version. So let's explain them. Number one there is overview. What is about overview? So here I'll tell you how we have to do an overview about a language and a language translation. The first step is to get a feel for the text one is going to translate. That is the subject matter and content, how long it is, the writing style, if it's technical, the various section, etc. The translator will typically read or skim read parts of the text to get an overview of the content. He may note key concepts or terminology. He'll need to research and will decide if any preliminary background reading is needed, right? And sometimes he'll research and resolve how he'll translate key terms before beginning the translation. Right? Next step is initial translation. One should systematically translate the document, typically in chunks of 5 to 10 words at a time. Choosing the appropriate length of individual text chunks to deal with is very important. Ideally, each chunk will be a discrete and complete unit of meaning. Each chunk also has to be short enough to retain in short-term memory. Working with chunks that are too short or not too discrete, meaning units, tends to produce an unnatural and potentially unclear translation, right? Here, it's very important to note and understand, focus on this point. On the other hand, working with the chunks that are too long to easily remember runs the risk of some meanings being missed in the translation. So this is the point to be noted here and focused. The third one is our accuracy check. After the first draft is completed, the translator will then methodically work through the translation, comparing each chunk of the text with the original source text. The primary goal here is to confirm he hasn't missed any content or misinterpreted any meaning. Most translators will also identify and improve any slightly unnatural and inelegant wording in this step. Number 4 is clear the mind. The next step is very simple. Put the translation aside and take a break for a few minutes. Ideally, this should be for a few hours or an overnight. This idea is purely to clear the mind to ensure a more effective fifth and final step. And our final step is final polishing. And in this step, as it is its name's giving the clue that we will polish finally our translation. In the final step, the translator rereads the translation, this time without reference to some source document, looking solely at quality of expression. He'll make final edits to further refine and polish the translated text. And next we have skill cluster for translation process. This is quite very important for translation process, and it is also of 6 steps. And number 1 here is the project management. Is about resource coordination, administration, terminology, research, and quality control. And number 2 is language and literacy. It includes intricacies of language, grammar, the role language play, understanding the source language, writing skill in target language, decoding, encoding, proofreading, editing, and vocabulary skills. Right? You have get it. Number 3 is communication skills, which is really very important in every field of life. Your communication skill must be very good. It is about clarity of expression by using clear and simple words and structures, giving and processing feedback, establishing rapport, listening, and questioning, observing and checking understanding, and making sure about the understanding of the topic being translated. Alright? Next we have the 4th step is making decision. It's about consulting, reflection, analyzing and evaluating, establishing facts or to make judgments. Number 5 here is cultural understanding. It is quite very important. When we're translating into another language, we must know about what the culture of that language is, because culture and language are really correlated, and you say that very interrelated with each other. And it is the knowledge of the culture that tells what influences the development of the language. Here, focus on this point. The culture tells what influences the development of the language, national characteristics of the community, the area where the language is spoken. It also includes hazards of stereotyping. And the last one is information technology. It also plays a very important role in translation. And nowadays there are many softwares which work as a translation process. So in this text, hardware and software used in producing translation. For example, Al-Wafi, Al-Misper. Electronic file management. The goal of computer file management is to ensure that one can find what one is looking for, even if one is looking for it years after its creation. E-commerce consists of the buying and selling on the internet and other computer networks. And here our lecture ends. If you have any query or confusion regarding this topic, and you can ask me freely in the comment section, and in my next video I will explain to you furthermore. And subscribe my channel, like, share and comment.